Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video, we're going to be going over two different teams, one free-to-play and one pay-to-win team for the new Titan Reaver, THALASSA and SETSAHARA. I did a lot of team testing. As you guys can see, our highest score is 1,723 million, which is one of the highest scores I've seen of today. And our free-to-play team is getting up to 1,200 million or above that. And the free-to-play team is using no Celestial Hypogeans, however, and the formation ID will be in the lower left-hand corner. But as always, in Titan Reaver, because your hero levels are boosted up to Mythic, you can also try the pay-to-win team formation. It might be good enough for you to get the score you need. Now, you only need to get 730 million in order to get all of the rewards for today. So here we have the free-to-play team. It is going to be Hugin in front of Odie, along with Merrily as a damage dealer, Smokey healing them all up, and Coco in the upper right corner with the Storm Strike spell. And team number 2 is going to be a Sinbad, Sonya melee team, with Shakira buffing them up, Sonya buffing up Sinbad and Mikola, Kruger to the left, and Shakira to the right with the Blade Summon artifact. So I did a couple of runs with this team. They're both getting around 1,200 million, with the top getting 1,216 million. We're going to begin by showing you the replay of the team number 1, and then we'll move on to team number 2. So team number 1 is going to be very standard to THALASSA. You have Hugin to give his charm bonus onto Odie, and also give the mechanized bond buff. Merrily as a damage dealer. Smokey just to heal up the team, but also to provide attack and haste buff. Honestly, Blade Summon artifact is the best artifact for team 1, but it is also the best artifact for team 2. And Storm Strike is not that much worse on team 1, and so making the swap for Storm Strike team 1 and Blade Summon team 2 is going to allow you to get overall higher damage. And like we said, if you need to replace Merrily, you can replace her for Lily May. That would be fine as well. But I think Merrily does a little bit better than Lily May, because Merrily is able to attack throughout the fight because her range is long enough. Lily May can only use Rainstorm Ballet to deal damage. Other than that, she's not able to hit the boss. And that's why Merrily is kind of usually better. But not always, because it does depend on how upgraded you have them. Hugin can work at low ascension. He's, mainly here for the charms, so don't worry, even if you have a low ascended Hugin and he's boosted up to Mythic, that'll be good enough for you. Okay, so the team number 1 can get up to over 550 million damage if you have good RNG. There is going to be a bit of RNG for both of the bosses, not only for THALASSA, especially if you're running this team, there is going to be RNG for the second boss as well, and you guys are going to see that. Because in the team number 2, you're going to see. So, Shakira, the reason we put him all the way on the right is to end up in a position to buff up Sinbad at the beginning of the match. Because now, Shakira is almost the perfect position. He's buffing up Sonya, Sinbad, even Mikola. Almost as many allies as possible. And this is going to increase the Sinbad and Sonya damage a lot. Now, the only thing which I think is up to RNG is when the boss begins spinning around like this, Shakira can end up in a jumbled place. So, you want to have Shakira ideally on the right side, but it seems most of the time he ends up on the left. But at least from this position, yeah, I mean, this is kind of the problem. You can't have Shakira always getting value, but in this position, at least Mikola is getting value onto your damage dealers, giving the haste buff to Sonya and to Sinbad. And then maybe if you're lucky on the final spin around, Shakira can end up in a good position. Yeah, here Shakira ends up in a good position. Again, he's not able to actually buff. Oh, Sinbad runs around the left side. That's perfect. So then Shakira is able to buff everyone. Oh no, but he doesn't get a final ultimate cast. So it's just really that second round. I don't know if it's related to RNG or if it always ends up like that. But at least the Mikola is buffing your teammates. And I still think the Shakira is getting value all for the team. You're getting the factional synergy from it. So this is overall a good team. Maybe not necessarily the strongest team out there. However, it is pretty free-to-play friendly. A lot of people will have these heroes built up, and as you guys saw, I can get up to 1,216 damage. Now, for the pay-to-win team, I want to try a couple of runs. I want to see whether we can get even higher than this, and see what our final score is going to be. So here's the pay-to-win team. It is, obviously using as many Celestial Hypogeans as needed. Rainier in front of Talion, Smokey in the upper right, and Hugin in front of Odie. The reason for this specific positioning is because the whole right side is completely blocked off. Odie, even though he's position swapped by Rainier, Odie is not going to be moved. He's going to remain on the mechanized bond tile. And that is why this positioning is important with the Storm Strike artifact. Team number 2 is going to be Twins. Twins with Sinbad Sonya is so strong. And this is why, like, look, Shakir is not being used in this comp because the issue with Shakir is really difficult for him to end up in a position to buff up your key damage dealers or even multiple heroes on your team. And that is why this team is just not running Shakir. Instead, it's running Mikola to give the attack buff from the Honor Arena, and then Kruger for his physical defense debuff with the Blade Summon artifact. Okay guys, so we're going to take a look at the replay. As you can see, this was the first time I was running this specific team, and we managed to get 1,723 million, which I think is pretty lucky. I think the RNG really is needed on the first team, which is the THALASSA team, in order to get a top score. But let's go ahead and begin watching this replay to see how the THALASSA worked out specifically. So Talene will always walk up to the left. That will happen every fight. But the RNG needed is for Talene to remain casting her ultimate for as long as possible. So she casts her first ultimate at pretty much the perfect time. Smokey's healing is enough to keep her alive, and she's still casting even after the THALASSA attack. Yeah, this is perfect. Like, Talene so far has done exactly what she needs to do to maximize her damage. And let's see what happens here. Yeah, Talene is still casting. This is perfect. And okay, now she has to recast because we have the tentacle spawning again. Because Odie is consistent. Odie is always going to deal its damage in the appropriate way. Smokey, Hugin, they're all going to do exactly what they need to do every single fight. It just comes down to the Talene. So Talene is going to end up back in the middle of position, and she needs to keep casting through this. She takes that damage, which is good. And now Hugin needs to keep buffing up the Talene. But even without perfect RNG, you can get a really good score. But the thing is, to get the absolute top score, you're going to see here, we got 785 million damage round 1. Whereas if you don't get perfect RNG, you're going to end up with like 725, 730. So like almost like 50 million damage lower. But if you want to get that top score, you're going to have to get the perfect RNG like we got there. Now the team 2, you guys saw it, we talked about the formation. So here's going to be the team 2. This is a very strong team. Your Mikola is going to be buffing up the Sonya and Sinbad with their Courage Sphere for a lot of this fight. Sonya jumps all around to the other side, but it'll be fine. When the boss begins running around again, then Sonya will get repositioned. And Mikola is buffing up your other heroes here, like Kruger and Lila, but that is not really as important because their damage is really low. It's just all about the Sinbad Sonya, but here, this is a good positioning. This is a good position, but then Sinbad moves off to the side, and now he's no longer in the Courage Sphere of Mikola. And even Sonya is not in the Courage Sphere of Mikola from this position. But still, the damage is really high. Because the team is good, and the twins are providing the buff from the Stellar Bond at least. And I think for this final round, or this final round that we have here, I think Mikola is going to be back in the good position. Yeah, she's buffing up Sinbad and Sonya, perfect. So it was just that middle round where the positioning is not optimal, but I don't know, maybe there's some way of like fully optimizing this. The other thing though is that I think Mikola's damage output is pretty high. So we got 937 million. I think my record for team number 2 is around 940 million or something. So there's a bit of room for improvement. Mikola doesn't, deal that much damage, even though she's buffed up by the Sonya. It's just the Sonya and Sinbad. But anyway, guys, hopefully with these teams, you're able to get all the rewards needed. And like we said, you only have to get 730 million score in order to get all of the rewards. And that is going to put us in 99.97%. Yeah, so maybe there is another team out there, but I think this is a really good, like, top performing team. And the free-to-play team hopefully is going to be helpful for you guys as well. But anyway, I hope this was a good, useful video. Good luck getting enough to get the 730 million. And if there's any other team that worked for you, you can feel free to share in the comment section. But thank you guys for watching. If you're not already subscribed to our channel, please smash that subscribe button. Thanks for the support. We're up to 18,000 subscribers. Let's try to hit 20,000 before the end of the season. And also, guys, feel free to join my AFK Journey Discord server. There's a link to that in the description of this video. And I look forward to chatting with you guys there. But thank you for watching. I'll hopefully see you in the next video. And until then, everyone, peace out for now.